Hi, I'm Austin from Boss here at Sam Ash, and we're going to go over some really screaming, ripping tones from the Boss Katana amplifier. So we're going to talk a little bit about the hardware and technology integration. We're going to play a couple of sound examples. We're also going to show you how Tone Studio works with the Katana amplifier, and as well about the other amplifiers in the series. So first, to start off, a little bit about the hardware and technology integration that we're using. So each amp uses not only an input section that reacts to your guitar and pedals very naturally, but also has a Class AB analog power amp stage. This means that we maintain the same natural interplay between the power amp and the speaker that a tube amp has. And a little bit about that input section that is that's very natural. It's a full discrete analog section. And a little bit in the middle is our tube logic technology, which allows us to create component for component the circuit board of a tube amplifier. And then goes into our Class AB analog power amp stage, and then off to a speaker, and gives us this really, really sweet, amazing sound. These amps are also very cutting edge in technology, and as well they're great for playing environments out in bands or any sort of clubs. These are great performance amplifiers. They crank, they rip, they sound great with other amplifiers and in a band mix. They just stand really, really well on the performance aspect. So this is a great performance amplifier for anybody that's looking to step up in that realm of performance class amps. So the one that I'm playing out of is 100 watts max. Today, as you can see on the top panel, I'm going to be using the 50 watt section. This allows for a little bit more air to be pushed towards the speaker, but it also can be used at half a watt. So that means that you can bring it down to a bedroom volume and have a quieter sound. So enough of me talking about the technology and hardware. Let's get to some playing examples. So first I'm going to use the clean channel. It's got a little bit of a spring reverb on it. So here we go, a little bit of clean. That's a little bit of the clean channel. Also to show the very natural interplay between the guitar and the input section of the amp, I got a little overdrive pedal that I like to use. This is my personal favorite, it's the OD1X. I got it at like a medium overdrive setting, so give it a little bit of push and a little bit of crunch. So here's what it sounds like from the clean going into that overdrive pedal. Next, we're going to go to the crunch channel on this amplifier using my handy dandy foot switch here. You'll notice I'm going to be playing a little bit into the volume of the guitar, as well as changing my playing dynamics. And as you'll notice you'll have a lot of change in the way the amplifier is actually sounding. So here it goes. You'll notice that the channel actually cleaned up really, really well. Doing this on most other amplifiers in this class it doesn't achieve a very, very good sound. It's not a very dynamically sensitive amplifier like this. Next section of the amplifier, we also have a lead channel, and the lead channel is basically modern high gain amps. It's similar to the Brown sound, but with more gain and a little bit more mids. It's really, really good for solos. It cuts through really, really nicely. So here we go with a little bit of the lead channel. Still maintains the nice dynamic range that you would get out of any great tube amp. Next, after the lead channel, we get to the Brown sound. And the reason why we call it the Brown sound, it's a very familiar term, I know. But the Brown sound is called that way because as we turn up the drive knob, not only are we changing the gain, but we're also changing the voltage rails in a variac the same way we would get the reaction from a tube amplifier. So a little bit of the Brown sound here. Get a little bit of volume here. So again, more dynamic interplay, but I still get the super awesome gain structure that I would like to get from most of my other tube amplifiers. So the next section after that is the 3-band EQ here. Very basic. It's savable per amplifier channel, which you have 4 of them in this specific model. Next after that, we have our effects section. And this is really, really cool. This is where we get into the Tone Studio part. So what I can do with Tone Studio and this amplifier is that I have 55 effects that are in the computer right now. You can see the screen probably in front of you. Got a couple of different options I have here. On the top panel, you'll notice there's different colored buttons. And as you add those different colors, they'll change out the different effect sections. I'll stick with the clean tone for this so you can kind of hear the effects a little better. And basically right now I have just a little bit of reverb straight on the clean channel. It's a little bit of a spring reverb. And then basically I can add any of the 55 effects in Tone Studio to this simply by changing it out. So if I want to change that spring reverb to, let's say, a modulatory reverb, I go into Tone Studio under my reverb here, click on modulate. And now I have more of a chorusy reverb type of effect. Hear a little bit of that modulatoriness happening. I could also increase the amount of reverb we hear, so you can get a little more emphasis. Really, really cool stuff. With the GFC foot switch, I can actually turn some of those effects sections on and off, so that's what I'm going to do here. I got a little bit of delay here. I can use the foot switch as a tap tempo. And again, I can change out any of those delays for different delay types. To access the FX section, we have to go back to the top panel here, and we have to turn our delay section all the way to the FX section. And now I got a nice little T-wah. So really, really cool stuff there. I'm gonna bring the reverb back down so you can hear the other effects. And now I can change that T-wah section out. So now I can change the T-wah to, let's find something fun in here. Let's see, I got a wave synth that's really cool. This is gonna be like your GR300 sound. So really, really cool sounds there. And we can also take any of the other effects that are in here. So if we go into the effects section here in Tone Studio, we can change a little bit of the parameters of the wave synth. We can change the filter decay or the filter depth here, giving us a little bit of a different sound. Notice I get a little bit more of a farty type of synth tone. I can also change the cutoff and get a little bit more punchy. Change the shape here, or the waveform, change it to a square wave. So really, really cool stuff on how I can change some of the sounds in here. And again, it can be used for any of the sections here. The delays, I can change the parameters of the delays. The booster section here is overdrive, so I have all of these overdrives to choose from, which is really, really cool. And the fact that I can use this foot switch as a miniature pedal board is really, really something else. So those are your options with the Tone Studio and the Katana amplifier. Again, really, really cool stuff. And then next, the last section of the amplifier, which is the power control. And the power control is really cool because, again, that whole non-master volume tube amplifier experience. So as you turn your tube amp up, it gets really, really loud and it sounds really good. So we're able to achieve that, but we have this power control at the very end, which is the last stage of the amplifier before it reaches the speaker. So this allows for the interplay really nicely as we were talking about the hardware and technology. The power stack here allows me to get from 0.5 watts all the way to the screaming loud performance volume of 100 watts. In this specific head, we have a little 5-inch speaker that you can use for reference, whether you're at your desk or in your hotel room, or maybe when ideas spark and you don't have access to a cabinet. So that's a little bit about the head. We also have 3 other models to the series. One is a 50-watt 112 cabinet, really, really small, portable. It's great for small gigs. Next one we have is a 100-watt combo 112. That includes some of the more fancier bells and whistles like an effects loop, the optional GAFC foot switch connection, as well as a presence knob and 4 channels as opposed to 2 in the 50-watter. And then we have the 100-watt head with the 5-inch little speaker here. And then lastly, we have a 100-watt 212 combo amp. So that's basically the Katana amp series. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Sam Ash, for having me on here. If you have any questions, go to a Sam Ash and try the amplifier yourself. Have a great day.